Hey, this is Mark Williams with Swine Like Barbecue. Today we're cooking up a Texas-style pork belly sandwich. I got a 4-pound slab here we picked up from the butcher shop in Pensacola, Florida. We're gonna get it seasoned with Killer Hogs TX Rub and then get it out there on that Outlaw patio. We're gonna cook this pork belly today till it gets good and tender. We're gonna get it chopped and on some Texas toast. Let's get started. For this recipe, there's not a lot of trimming to do. This pork belly here has already had the skin removed. It's got a good layer of fat on the backside. I'm gonna leave all this intact. All we're gonna do is get a good layer of seasoning on it. Now we're using Killer Hogs TX Rub. If you don't have this, you can use equal parts salt and pepper. We just want some good Texas flavors. Now we're gonna go pretty heavy. We wanna build a really good bark on the outside of this. That way when we get it chopped and pulled and mixed in, it's gonna be great on that sandwich. Now what makes this pork belly so good is all that marbling, all that fat that's gonna render. Pretty much every strand of muscle and meat in this pork belly is just encapsulated in fat. It's gonna be almost too good to be true. If you don't have a pork belly available, you can simply do this same recipe with a Boston butt. It's gonna cook it the same way, but I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be hard to compare to this pork belly though. Now that we got a good layer of this TX Rub, I'm gonna get out here and get this Outlaw patio fired up with some royal oak charcoal. We're gonna be running today about 275. It's gonna be a pretty long cook, but we wanna render all this fat. It's gonna make a good eating sandwich. Let's get out here and get this pit fired up. Like always, I'm firing up this Outlaw patio smoker with some royal oak all natural briquettes. We'll get the fire basket filled up, place 2 tumbleweeds underneath and get them lit. We're gonna leave all the doors and vents open. That way this fire can get plenty of oxygen. Once we get a good bed of coals, we're gonna start laying some pecan splits we got from smokerwood.com. This pit will be up to 275 in no time. We'll be ready to get that pork belly on. This Outlaw's come right on up to temp. We got the pork belly ready to go on. I'm gonna place it fat side down, kind of centered up in the grate. Now we're gonna let this pork belly go for about an hour. We'll come out here and look at it, see what our color's doing. We wanna build a good bark just like you would on a brisket, and we're gonna judge our wrap time just on appearance. We're gonna mix up a quick spritz just to spray this pork belly throughout the cook process. I wanna bring on some good vinegar flavor. So what I'm gonna do is take a half a cup of Killer Hogs vinegar. I'm gonna strain it though, because I am gonna use a spritz bottle for this. Then once we get the half a cup of Killer Hogs vinegar, I'm gonna go ahead and just add a half a cup of water to kind of thin it down. That way it'll spray good out this spritz bottle. Get it poured in our spray bottle. Try not to make a mess. And then we're ready to spritz it. This pork belly's been on the pit for just a little bit over an hour. We're gonna see what kind of color we got and go ahead and give it a spritz. Like I say, you can tell it's starting to get good color. It's ready for a good spritz. Hit all the corners. Really want to build that good bark just like you would on a brisket. And then we'll get the lid shut, let it go another hour. All right, so this pork belly's been on for almost 3 hours. We spritzed it as needed. It's time to get it up so we can get it wrapped. It's done rendered. Of course, it's done drawed up some, and it's got an excellent bark. I mean, that's not coming off. Got plenty of moisture cooking out. We got a little moisture right there, but that's gonna be fine. Once we get it wrapped in this butcher paper, that should color right on up. So let's get it in here, let's get it wrapped. Like I said earlier, we're gonna wrap in butcher paper. Now you can tell we got a really good bark, good crust on it. I wanna save that as much as I can. That way when we build this sandwich, it's gonna incorporate in all that pulled meat. It's gonna make it for even a better eating sandwich. So we're gonna get it wrapped just like we would a brisket. And pull the top piece over, tuck it in, go once, pull it tight. I'm gonna go ahead and fold the edges up, just like you would a brisket. Same thing here. Go over again, pull it tight, and whatever you have left over, just fold it under and tuck it in. We got a perfect little envelope of pork goodness. We'll get this back out on the pit. So we'll get it placed back on the pit, put it right back dead center. Then I got a Thermalworks dot here. I'm gonna go in the side right here, just split the difference. And then I got our alarm set for 198. We want this to get good and tender. Probably got about another hour and a half cooked to go. Now's the time when you don't want to rush it. Let the pit do the work. We want to render all that fat. Just maintain a good fire and it'll be done shortly. So you can hear our Thermalworks dots telling us it's 200 degrees. What I'm gonna do, instead of trying to poke another hole in the paper, I'm gonna use the probe we have in here and just see how tender it is. It feels super soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out, place it on this little sheet right here. Now it's the toughest part of the cook is letting this rest. I'm gonna get in here and place it in a warm oven, let it rest for at least an hour, and then we'll be ready to build these sandwiches. Now it's time to unwrap this pork belly. We place it in the oven to rest for about an hour and a half. If you got a dry cooler, you can put it in there. You just wanna give this pork belly plenty of time to rest. So I know it's gonna make a mess as we're unwrapping it, but I can't stand it no more. Feel like I'm hiding it from y'all. One more flip and she'll be out. Oh, that's pretty as a picture there. Tender as can be. Just as a quick recap, we started off with a 4-pound pork belly. Now this is a half a slab. They usually come by 8 to 10 pounds. We split it right down the middle because we're gonna use the other for some other recipes too. Didn't need much trim work. The skin was already removed. We just hit it with some good TX rub, salt, pepper, garlic, and then we got it out there on that stick burner. We treated it just like a brisket, spritzed it as needed, wrapped it in that butcher paper, and you see what we got here. I know this is gonna make some good sandwiches. To get these sandwiches built, I'm gonna break this down. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of rough chop it. I want that meat to hold good texture on that sandwich. You're welcome to pull this however you'd like to do it. So all I'm gonna do is just come through here and just break it up just about like you would with burnt ends. There's no right or wrong way to do this. We just wanna rough chop it. Of course, it is packed full of moisture. And I'm just gonna take what I can with my hand, break them up, some of these bigger pieces. I mean, look at that right there. I mean, it's just melt in your mouth tender. I done pulled that one. I might as well go for a bite by itself. That right there. I don't even know how to explain that. That is unreal. Man, it's just melt in your mouth. Super good texture. And it is packed full of flavor, succulent. We'll get this broke down a little bit more. Chopping it like this, you get that bark on every bite. Look at that right there. That is a pile of goodness. All right, let me get this put together. I'm gonna show you how we plate this. Now this is what a Texas style pork belly sandwich tray should look like. So I've already tried the pork belly. I know it's on point. It's time to build a sandwich. So I'm gonna scoop the bread a little bit out of the way. We got a tray full of meat here. All we're gonna do, take that chopped up pork belly, it goes on top of this Texas toast. We're gonna go heavy with it. I'm gonna take this vinegar sauce. This is Killer Hogs vinegar sauce. Drizzle a little bit over the top of it. We got us a couple of onions, thinly sliced. Same thing with pickles. Got some thinly sliced pickles to go with it. Put it on top. Cut it on an angle here, just to get that money shot. That's a good looking sandwich right there. As good as that pork was by itself, I can't wait to try it on this Texas toast. Heck yeah. That is a good sandwich right there. That pork really shines through. It's still just packed full of moisture. Them onions, them pickles, that's my favorite things anyway. I know I said earlier you could do this with Boston butt, but I'm gonna tell you that pork belly, it's gonna be hard to top. I'd pay $20 for that sandwich. That's a wrap for today at Swine Life. Y'all gotta give this recipe a try. That pork belly cooked like a brisket like that, it's packed full of flavor, it's super rich, it goes great on the Texas toast, and it's a heck of a sandwich. We appreciate y'all checking this video out. If y'all got any questions, shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram, and as always, like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see y'all next time.